You hate ads? I hate ads. You know what I like? Patreon.com/Inkdependence keeps this blog ad-free. Hello folks, welcome to Inkdependence.com. I'm Mike, and today we're taking a look at Blackstone's Blue Cashmere. This is in the SuSeMai series, which stands for Super Secret Ink Maker. And this is a series of inks. I think it's like a reference to back when Blackstone inks was kind of new, and they were trying inks out on the market, and they just wanted to say, hey, try this ink, and then want to say who made it, that sort of thing. So I think that's a holdover for some special edition sorts of inks. Blue Cashmere actually is one of the inks that was available originally as a powder. So this is an old formulation, I suppose, and then they made them into gels or some strange thing. They were trying to figure out good ways to ship inks from places like Australia where this is made, but the powder thing didn't last long because it was a bit of a pain and people didn't want to deal with it, I guess. And so now you have this one, which is nicely liquidy. I got this one as a review sample from John over at lemurink.com. Thank you, John, for letting me have this for review. I went up to his table and said, hey, what do I need to know about here? And he said, hey, you try this thing. And Blue Cashmere is a color that I should not like, but I'm like, all right, I'll give it a shot, because why not? And so let's take a look at what this looks like. Here we go. This is not an exclusive to Lemur Ink, but I also haven't seen it anywhere else. So it might be a little bit more difficult to find if you don't go to lemurink.com, where I got this. So this is what it looks like, and it is a very cool, like, blurple, I guess, is what I would call this. A blurple, likely. You can see it just like eats up the light. It's very nice. And like I said, this is an ink that I should not really care for. But you know what? I like it. I like it. In fact, I liked it almost as soon as I put it in a pen. And I put it in this pen, which is my franklin-christoph 46 with the Inkdependence ID in it. I've had a few of these to sell at Philly originally, and this is mine. And this orange and teal has got this awesome blurple in there. It's almost black and dark enough to be, when you're writing with it, kind of a purple black blue, almost like a blue black that leans purple, perhaps. But it does give your writing a nice bit of color, I think, without being too crazy. So paper, 80 gram per square meter Rhodia, my usual test paper. Everybody's got access to this thing. Flow, real medium. Like, this is a really medium flow. This is a Yovo fine nib that I've had this in, and I know those nibs pretty darn well. Very nice medium. I haven't had any problems with hard starts or any nonsense like that. It's been doing real well. There are small amounts of feathering on the 20-pound copy paper. Remember, this is the worst possible paper, and there it is. Tiny amounts of feathering in some of the letters. Not much. Like, this isn't super offensive to me, although I do wish it was a bit cleaner on this 30-pound, or rather 30% recycled 20-pound copy paper, but this is bad paper, so I'm not surprised. A little bit of bleed through, not a lot though, just a little bit. Most of that is actually show through because it's a fairly thin paper, but a few spots of bleed, a little bit of feathering, no real bad behavior here. All right. As far as qualities, it has a little bit of shading, but not a whole lot. Like, you're not going to be blown away by the amount of shading in this ink. It's just not, that's not its jam. It's pretty well saturated. And the fun fact here, it used to be only available as a powder, which I think is pretty cool. As I write here, this is an ink I like a lot more than I think I should, and that's pretty cool. It's nice to have an ink that you like more than you anticipated liking. I've had a couple of those here in the recent past. Now, I will say on this splotch right here, you will see some feathering here, and actually where this went down the heaviest, which is right in this area, like the paper is kind of like it's wrinkly. Rhodia usually stands up really well, but this particular one did bleed through just a little bit. So you have some of that here, but I mean, none of the writing or anything. I think it's just like a weird artifact of there being so much ink there or something, but it did come through a little bit. So if you're going to pour this on the page, yeah, it might bleed through. That's just, that's a risk you run. Okay. Let's do a couple of things. Do a little water test, take a look at the chromatography, and then look at this on a bunch of different papers. How about that? All right. Okay, let's get some water on this guy. Just sort of swirl that around a little bit. There we go. You can see some of it coming off. Get a little bit of a shimmy. Yeah, that looks nice. Where it's just sort of coming away from the words. But actually, most of that looks like it's sticking around. This is doing better than I thought it would. I had not anticipated much water resistance at all, but there is some. It looks like mostly what's coming up is the blue, which is interesting. There's some hints of purple in there. Oh, look at that little mini chromatography going on. Yeah, so there it is. You can actually see some of the lines on the paper. I'll go ahead and just blot this away. And yeah, actually, you can still read this perfectly well. So I put my coffee mug down on some notes the other day. Made a nice water ring, and it kind of obliterated my writing with a lot of stuff. But I think this would actually stand that test for sure. You can still read water test. You can still see where all the lines and dots were. So very cool. Very, very cool. All right, so this is 30 mils. You can find this at Blackstone ink. And it does have some water resistance, although it's going to run a bit. It's going to make a bit of a mess, but it won't be too bad, I don't think. Okay, so let's look at the chromatography right quick. And that is this. So the reason I didn't think much of it was going to stick around is because down here where it started, you just have a little bit of pale pink until you get up here where you start getting bright blues in there underneath and some dark purple stuff on top. But it was all pink, and I mean, you can see some of that pink, I think, in here just a little bit, but I don't know. This is a time when chromatography steered me wrong. It was like, nah, it's going to stick around. It's going to stick around in a pretty decent way. So that's cool. All right. Okay, so color samples. Comparisons and such. This is, of course, Blackstone's Blue Cashmere. This is on a Colodex card. You can find those at lots of retailers, including, I think, Lemur Ink has them, but also Well-Appointed Desk is usually where I buy these things. Straight from the source. This one right here is Tasha Ao, which I got from Anderson Pens last year, and I haven't really had a chance to use this in a pen yet. But this has a lot of sheen. This one doesn't have any sheen, none of that, just a little bit of shading here and there. But I think they've got some of the same color stuff going on. This is just more vibrant. Then we've got Faber-Castell Cobalt Blue, which I think is actually pretty darn close in real life and actually on the camera too. Cobalt Blue from Faber-Castell, pretty close, although way more expensive than the Blackstone version. And here, this is Sailor. SuSeMai? I do not know how to say that. Somebody can give me the phonetic one in the comments below here if you would, because I have no idea how to say that one. But this is in the same kind of vein. It leans more blue, I think, than Blue Cashmere does. It's lighter. It's got more of a tendency to sheen, that sort of jazz, but in pretty well the same family. Then we have here Ackerman's number 14, Parka-Pop Purper. This is just purple ink from Ackerman, and fairly close, although definitely more purple and not doesn't have the same blue as the Blackstone version does. Then here's one that I think is actually fairly close too, although it definitely leans a little bit more, I'm going to say red, it's a different sort of tone in there, but fairly close. And this is Monteverde's Mulberry Noir. Mulberry Noir going a little more purple than Blue Cashmere is, but another good ink to check out if you're in that color space. And then lastly, this is Straits Pen's Honest Ink Happy Accident Lilac, which is supposed to look like Dark Lilac. I don't really think that it captures the same stuff as Lamy Dark Lilac does, but it's a nice looking ink, and I think it's actually fairly close to Blue Cashmere. It again is a bit more purple, whereas this one isn't as intense, but same kind of thing going on. All right, let's take a look at it on a couple of papers. We already saw it on the 20-pound paper. This is the Inky Fingers Currently Inked notebook that I use, and this is wheat straw paper. And here it is in this paper here, and I think it works very nicely. In fact, as soon as I started writing with this, I was like, oh, this is gonna be pretty good, pretty good. Comes out nice bluish purplish character on there, definitely a blurple. Then here it is. This is an ink journal. This is the Tomoe River ink journal, and again, it's in the back. It's right there. And you do get some more shading, I think, from it in here. Not a huge amount, but some for sure. And it does look very nice on this Tomoe River. Behaves perfectly well on both of these papers, and fairly okay on the 20-pound. So that's pretty good. All right, so this has been Blackstone's Blue Cashmere. Check this out at lemurink.com, and tell John I said hi when you order it, so he'll know that you saw it here and, like watching reviews and stuff. All right, that's it. I will see y'all in the next video. Peace out.